Hey there folks, this is Random Game Channel again. This time I would like to go over a basics primer video. Now it's going to be mostly geared towards people, who are new, joining the game, and just like to go over some details I hope can help introduce everyone to the game and kind of get a feel for how some of the things work, and just going over other details that people normally don't talk about. Alright, so to start this off, I just want to give everyone, a disclaimer here. Like this isn't going to be a complete list of like all the gameplay options and mechanics in this game. This video's objective is to, gently introduce new troopers to the game. And although I don't know everything about the game, I hope that this video can at least help the community out. Because I don't really see too many people talk about like the basics. So all I really see out there are just like a bunch of gameplay videos. And there's a lot of stuff that when I first started I didn't really know a lot about, and a lot of my gameplay knowledge came from just figuring things out on my own, which kind of made it a little challenging for me to make sense of how to play the game. So that's my disclaimer. If I missed anything, you can always add those things into the comments so that we can share as much information as we can with the community. Alright, so let's move on to the meat and potatoes. First thing I'd like to talk about is that when you first launch into the game, you'll probably see the screen here that you're seeing with me. Some of the stuff might change over time, but I can tell you that if you just want to go straight into playing a game, you can just click on play mission. There's a bunch of different things you can choose from, different game modes with some different difficulty modifiers. If you hover over each of these little icons, you can see like what each one is. These are also on rotation, so right now everything's going to be renewed in about 3 minutes. So just if you see one you like, just click on it and click play. This will also give you a breakdown of the different modifiers that's in this particular match, what difficulty, where the location is, what the game mode is. However, if you click on quick play, it'll just launch you into any match that is currently going and has like some room for people to join. If you do have people that you like to add, you can always click on party and add people here. But if you're like me, I don't have any friends, so I don't have anyone to invite. Easy as that. Over here will be your rank, how much XP you need to level it up. This number here represents how many times you've enlisted. So for me right now, I've enlisted twice. What else here? And yeah, that's about it for this landing page. There's other details I'll go over, but that'll be later in the video. You can also boot up into the boot camp. I highly recommend checking this out first before you start playing any games, because this does a pretty decent job of like showing you some of the basic objectives that you do. For example, like collecting ore and gas. They show you how that works in the boot camp. They show you how to build structures and things in there. So definitely, check this out. I highly recommend it. It'll make your actual first real game session a little more better and smoother experience. Down here will just be news that the developers will share. with the community, and if you like, you can also go into the Discord and join the conversations there. There's a lot of updates and stuff there that you can check out. I highly recommend joining the Discord as well. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it for this section. I know there's the browse mutators stuff, but I'll get to that later in the video, so just stay tuned. Alright, let's just kind of move on down the line here. Loadout. This is the different loadouts that you can create. Each time you enlist, you get an additional loadout slot. As of right now, for these loadout slots, you can't really modify it once you boot up into a game. But what you can do is like have multiple of the same class in a particular loadout. Like for example, I made 2 Demolisher classes in the past, and I made one where it's like you're prioritizing damage over being more of a support piece. So those are the kind of loadouts that you can expect to see here. By default, there's like one for each class, and you can just mix and match all the different utilities, perks, grenades, and weapons. But we'll go more into these details later in the video. Now with your profile, this is where you can kind of like see your overall stats. What's your favorite class? For me, it's medic. I like playing the medic. I like being a support role. Your favorite game mode, you can see for me, it's advanced and secure. I can't really sit down for too long, so I can't really play ARC or anything like that. It just takes too long for me. And just other little stats and stuff that you can kind of like keep track of on your account. And this is more of like a more specific breakdown. Don't really pay attention to this stuff all too much, but you could break it down by game modes, the classes, things like that. Alright, let's move into the settings now. So the the first thing I kind of want to go over is like kind of like the accessibility stuff, because I have never seen any video out there on YouTube or anyone really talking about this stuff on the Discord at all. So I just kind of want to go over these things, make sure everyone kind of knows about these options. Like if you have some kind of like colorblind disability thing like me, you can adjust things accordingly. Alright, so the first thing in my notebook is screen shake. Where do you find it? I don't know. Let's look for it together. Let's see. The gameplay. Nope. Accessibility. Oh, it's in the accessibility section. So, screen shake, I have this off. When you turn it on, every single explosion or anything that like has a big shockwave, it will just shake your screen, and to me it kind of makes me feel a little nauseous, makes me feel a little dizzy. So if you have like any kind of sensitivity like that, I highly recommend turning screen shake off, because there's no reason you should have to experience those feelings in the game, because if not, that'll just make you feel awful. Okay. So next thing is text chat vocalization. Let's just go over this stuff while we're here. So let's just read this together. Turning this option on will make any text chat received in HUD be spoken by a simulated voice. Basically, anybody that types anything will be kind of like spoken into the sound system as like a computer voice. So if you have a hard time tracking text messages in the game, turn this on can help you keep track of like what people are typing. You can also adjust the volume of that as well. So adjust it to according to your needs. Speech to text, I have this on. I think by default it's just turned off. But anytime anyone has like or like they say something in voice chat, it'll be transcribed into a text-based message. Now it's not always accurate, so just kind of keep that in mind. But if you are like me, where I kind of have a hard time hearing things, being able to read that the voice chat into a text-based form can kind of help sometimes. You can also change your language. For me, of course, it's going to be in English. Brightness, you can adjust it accordingly to whatever fits your needs. So for me, it's just 40%. Seems to work pretty well. Colorblind intensity, that just allows you to adjust the intensity of the colorblind mode. So let's check this out. There's a few different options. By default, it's going to be turned off. But for me, I have the red one on because I have issues seeing red most of the time. So I have that turned on. It makes the red a lot brighter for me, so I can see that things are red, especially when bugs get highlighted or scanned by a ranger or a sniper. Usually it's a little dark for me, but when I have this turned on, it's a brighter red. I can like distinguish colors. So let's see what else. They have one for green and blue. So if you have those kind of colorblind disabilities, I recommend turning these on as well, or at least trying it out and see if it works. Or if you're okay, you have no issues, you can always just turn it to none. So that's kind of all the accessibility stuff that we have here in the game. But there's also some other settings I think that can be related to that. So let me just find that real quick. It might be the gameplay. Nope. Controls. Alright, so the thing I want to go over is the sprint and aim down sight. So if you're like me and you're sitting at a desk all day for for work, and your wrist hurt, carpal tunnel, holding down the buttons to do all these things will just kind of hurt a lot. So if you're like me and you have all these pains, turning the toggle to on makes it a lot easier. So what it means is like you just for example sprint, I just press shift and it'll just keep running automatically until I stop running or I press shift again. Same thing with aiming down sight or ADS. Instead of holding down the right mouse button to aim down sight, you just click it once and it'll remain in aim down sight until you click it again. So I think in the long run it helps me be able to play this game as much as I can. Hopefully that helps you guys out as well. Let's see, what else? Sound settings. Alright, so I got a lot of issues. I'm just like a really busted up person, so if you have hearing issues kind of like me, you might want to consider adjusting these things accordingly, whatever is going to be comfortable for you. So right now, I have the music on to 60%. You can like adjust it, make it louder, softer. So let me just set that back. Same thing with the dialogue. Even at 60%, the dialogue is really, really loud. So if you need to like hear other stuff within a game, you might want to consider turning it down a little bit. The UI volume, it don't really matter too much. Like if you pan over a different item in here, you'll hear this kind of like clicking noise, which you might be able to hear if I do this. And that's kind of like what the UI volume is. Not a big deal. Effects volume, so it's like, you know, gunshots, explosions, you know, footsteps. If you really want to hear everything and anything, you can set it up to 100%, but it's gonna be loud. So if you're like in an open space environment, kind of like me, you need to kind of turn it down a little bit, or like have headsets. But even with headsets, this thing is going to be kind of loud when things blow up. So if you do need things to be a little quiet, you don't have a headset, you got other people in the room with you, or if you got kids that are sleeping and you're a late night gamer, you probably want to adjust these things to be a lower volume. So the master volume kind of controls how loud everything is overall. So if I want to, you know, turn it down all the way, not have it turned off, you're not going to hear anything at all. So, you know, adjust these things to whatever will fit your needs. Since we're here on the voice on audio stuff, you can turn the voice chat off. And let's see, the input device, like you can have your headset, you change it to your headset. You can also adjust the volume for any incoming voice audio. You can also do the same thing when you're transmitting any voice. You can, you know, set it to, you know, your device. You can boost your mic here. There's also options to push to talk and do just like open mic. Let's see, what else? You can adjust the volume of that as well. You can adjust the audio quality. I haven't really played too much with this, but having it on high seems to be okay. Alright, there's also one more section here about, like, you know, what's better, like team chat versus proximity voice, but we'll go over those details a little bit later in the video. Okay, moving on. If you happen to play with friends in like a different, you know, region, you might want to, you know, change your servers, or if you just want to play with different people from a different region, you might want to consider that as well. Is that the gameplay section? It is the gameplay section. So your region, for me, I'm on the West Coast. There's a bunch of different regions that you can select. Let's check it out. The Central, East, Europe West, Asia East, Asia Southeast. That's such a weird way to say it. I usually just say Southeast Asia. My parents are from there. It's Australia Southeast. Not that many regions, but you know, check it out. Whichever one works best for you. Just keep in mind, the further you go, there's always the potential for greater lag. Okay. Oh, key bindings. Let me just take a quick look at my notes here, cross off what I did so far. Still need to talk about this and that. This. Okay. Alright, so with the controls, I recommend checking this out before you start any kind of gameplay, even the tutorial. I'm primarily on the keyboard right now. There isn't a lot of support for controllers. There's like no sensitivity controls, things like that. So I don't really play it too much on a controller, so I can't really say too much on it, but for the keyboard, these are the things you can change. I've left everything on kind of like default. There are a couple things I do want to go over though that people might not know about. One of them is the focus kind of button. It's only really useful if you're playing as a sniper with like the Hawkeye or the XXX sniper rifle. This will just kind of like allow you to, in other games like, you know, Call of Duty for example, it lets you hold your breath kind of thing when you need to take a shot. So pretty useful. It helps a lot for a sniper. Let's see. Where's the thing? Well, here you go. The melee. I forget what it's on by default. I think it might be like G or V or whatever. But for me, I just put it onto one of the extra buttons on my mouse. I can't seem to use it on the keyboard very well, so I figured it's easier for me to put it on my mouse. So that's something you might want to consider if you're not really, if you don't really have high dexterity for a keyboard. What else? Where's the grenades? Oh no, here we go. Same thing for grenade. I think that is actually on G by default. So, you know, if you can't seem to, you know, do that on a keyboard like me, you can always just put it onto the mouse. Have like 4 or 5 extra buttons on this thing. So, make use of the mouse buttons because, you know, if you can't use it on a keyboard, use it there. Okay. Now I think we can go back to gameplay. So I think by default this is like turned off. I can't really remember, but I have it on so I can like see text messages. I primarily communicate that way with other players. So sometimes I just don't want to talk to anybody. You know, bad experiences in other games. You know, I grew up playing the OG COD. Those lobbies were brutal. I never really went back to using voice chat after that. Traumatized. But anyways, I really want to talk about the show gain XP option. So, if you watch the movies in any capacity, you know that the bugs like to kind of play dead sometimes. Especially in the first movie where it looks like it died, but then as soon as Johnny Rico walks near it, it stabs him in the leg. So, the reason why I want this turned on is because sometimes the bugs will look like they're dead, but they're not. So if you have this option on and you see the XP numbers on your HUD, that's a dead bug. So turn it on if you have doubts that something's really dead. It does kind of ruin the immersion a little bit, just throwing it out there. But you know, just try it out, see if you like it. Plus, it's kind of cool seeing all the numbers pop up when you throw a grenade into a cluster of bugs. Is kind of nice seeing everything. And if you don't want to turn this on, another thing that you can look into, I don't know if they're going to change this going down the line, but when bugs die, they usually kind of change color into like this gray palette. So when they change color like that, that's a good sign that bug is dead. Alright, now let me just cross that off the list. Okay, what else? Alright, the last three things on this beginning stuff is local voice chat versus team voice chat, how to meet players, how to report griefers and hackers. So let's go over those things. Let's see, voice chat versus team chat. So it's gonna be audio. Oh wow, I clicked on video. Let's see. I think there was a thing down here that said something about this. No, no. Oh, proximity push to talk. So let's kind of look at how this is being described here. So voice activity will pick up on voice activity and transmit to proximity channel. Push to talk when transmitting to proximity channel. So proximity voice chat basically means that if you have this turned on by pressing Y, what that does is that the only people that's going to be able to hear you are the ones that are close to you. And I think from what I'm understanding, some people would prefer the proximity voice versus like the team voice chat, because when you deploy into the game, you're gonna be placed into a squad of 4 people. If you do team chat, they're gonna be the only ones that can hear you. Sometimes, depending on circumstances, like they're gonna be somewhere else that they're not gonna be really close to. So if you need help or you spot something that needs to be taken care of, like say for example a squad of tigers, if you do team chat, that's not going to be super helpful because your teammates in your squad might not be in the same location as you. A lot of times troopers will be moving around and it's going to be kind of hard staying together as a squad, but overall as one large cohesive unit, using proximity voice chat I think would be better, because anybody that's nearby will be able to tell that someone near them is trying to communicate. So for example, if it's just me and 2 other people, one of them got killed, I'm still alive, they might say on the proximity voice chat like they need to be revived. I could be then saying to them, oh yeah, I got you, I'm right here. However, if they're only communicating in the team voice chat, then I might not hear it because I might not be on their squad. So those are some of the pros and cons to using those 2 options. But I think it makes a lot of sense just to use the proximity voice chat, because you want to be communicating with those that are nearest to you, especially if things hit the fan and you guys just need to like jet on out of there. Alright, folks, let's just take a quick detour here to talk about like how to report people. Let you know, please don't abuse this system. Only do this if we happen to come across hackers or people that are like being very belligerent. Sometimes you'll come across people that are very rude and racist, and they're saying like really racist things. I believe that is something that you can report players for. But this one we'll just be looking at how I reported this hacker. So let's just take a quick look at this video I recorded a long time ago. So what was going on was that this person was they were experiencing some kind of like hack or like some kind of very exploitable bug. I think it was like an exploitable bug of some sort, but they just took advantage of it. To me, it's the same thing as being like a hacker. It just kind of ruining the game. And this person was just like had infinite class ability for the Demolisher, and it was actually damaging a lot of troopers. So let's just kind of take a look at what's going on here. If you see something suspicious like this, just click on Z. I don't really know what that would be on the controller, but you'll see that this interface pops up here. All you need to do is like look for the person's name, which I believe their name was TikTok, and then something here. You can see their name here. You can click on this button here, which will report them. So let's continue watching. So click that button, and then you'll be given this UI to fill out. At the time, I think what I did was like report them for cheating, but I think realistically it could have just been someone exploiting this bug. I think normally if someone's experiencing this kind of bug, they'll just like leave the game or like quit in some manner, but the person stayed here and they were doing this for like a good 2, 3, 4 minutes. So this is like the interface you'll need to fill out. Okay, so I didn't know what the heck was going on, so I put other. But let's see what else I say. It's been a while since I watched this video of mine. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, that's kind of like how you would go about filling this out. If you're not sure if it's cheating or exploiting, I think it's safe to just say other. Just make sure you write out a description and an issue summary here. Usually, if you can provide a little more details, that would help the developers know what's going on. And then on their end, they can check things out. Then make sure you click Submit Report. The other thing I want to go over while we have this interface open is that if you want to mute a particular player, sometimes people will be playing with some very loud music in their background. All you need to do is go to this column of this table and just click on the audio mic button here, and it'll mute whoever it is you need to mute. So that's how how you report people and how you can mute people. Hopefully you don't need to like do any of that stuff in your game sessions, because that's always a downside to the game. But yeah, hopefully that helps everyone out. Let's take a quick second and go over how to report a bug. Alright, so if you happen to be experiencing a bug and you know for sure it's a bug, all you need to do is hit escape for the keyboard. Now I don't know what that's going to be in the controller, but you can always check your key bindings. So let's check out this little gameplay video that I had recorded a little while ago. By the way, the bug was that I was just killed, and then for some reason you get stuck in like this third person view and you can't move at all, but things can still kill you because technically your character is up. I mean, look at that, you can still rotate around and everything, but when you have this menu open, click on Give Feedback. Oh, sorry, the video quality is a little choppy here. But anyways, click this menu here and click on Bug Report. See what I type here. I can't spell. Alright, so usually it's a really good idea to like write out some details here. I mean, I think I could have been a little more detail oriented in my issue description, but I think this gives enough information to say, hey, you know, I died, I was revived, but then for whatever reason I'm just standing there. I can't move, I don't have any UI, I don't have a HUD. I should have mentioned that it was stuck in third person mode or a third person view. I think this is a fairly common bug, at least for here in the early access. But I think this is a good opportunity to show you how to submit a bug report while you're in game. There's a different method you can do outside of the game using Zendesk, but if you want more information on that, you can always just join the Discord, and then one of the people there can show you how to do that. It's fairly simple. You just need to select the game that you're trying to report the bug for. You still need to write up an issue description. Usually for me, if I'm reporting it that way, I am a lot more detail oriented, and then it's also very helpful if you have like a screen recording that shows what's going on. If you don't, a screenshot would kind of work. And coming back to the in-game bug report system, I mean, you can give the rating for the game. For the bugs, I always just put like 1 nowadays, because you know, it should be resolved. Hopefully these things will be by the time the game goes live in October. But you know, I really love this game. Please don't think that I hate it. I in fact like this game a lot. I mean, I make content for it. So I think it's a really cool game. We haven't really had anything like this before, so I hope it sticks around. But anyways, After you're done doing all this stuff, just click submit, and then it'll be sent to, I believe, the developers in some function, some way. But yeah, that's how you do a bug report.